I'm Still Here, 2010 film made by Joaquin Phoenix and his brother-in-law Casey Affleck. This is one of those films which you should absolutely not watch without first knowing precisely what it is about, the whole context of the story. Because if you go in blind, you will be extremely confused and also will certainly think that Phoenix is not just insane, but a proper asshole as well. So here's what actually went down. In 2008, Joaquin Phoenix announced that he's retiring from acting, and shortly after also told the media that he would from now on pursue his hip hop career. All the while, he had Casey and a bunch of other friends follow him around shooting a documentary. What follows is a mix of public meltdowns and catastrophic media appearances and more private scenes, some of them involving other celebrities, which basically come down to Phoenix sabotaging his career, being a raging asshole, and acting pretty crazy. He did this for almost 2 years, after which it was revealed that it was actually a big joke, that he was playing a character all this time, a version of himself, with the whole world as his audience. But also that a lot of the stuff in the documentary was actually scripted, and people were in on the joke beforehand. So it's not like Borat, where he just cons everyone around him. There are many people in the know, and a lot of the scenes are not really a documentary; they're completely fake. And this is basically I'm Still Here. I have to say I fail to see the purpose of this stunt, though. According to Phoenix himself, he was fascinated with the culture surrounding reality TV in America and how many people believed that that was all for real. And he wanted to take this concept, sort of blow it up to huge proportions and make a movie out of it. But I don't think it quite works. On the one hand, because we know that a lot of the stuff is scripted, the shock factor is gone. I'll go back to the Borat comparison again. The fun with Sacha Baron Cohen, regardless of what he's doing, in general comes from the fact that he's doing a bit, but nobody around him knows that. And that's not what happens here. So you have to wonder, why go to all the trouble of doing all these elaborate, crazy setups when in reality it's just your friends and people who cooperate with you? On the other hand, I guess it was partially meant to be a commentary on how media and the general public can, crucify a person like Phoenix the moment he ceases to conform, to play by the rules. At least that's what I heard about the film prior to watching it in the first place. That is also not accurate though, because yeah, the film shows that a lot of the people threw Phoenix under the bus, but seeing his behavior, why would anyone be surprised? I mean, he did act like a totally crazy person for a good while, and he was being a bit of an asshole about it as well. So what did he expect would happen? Of course, people will turn away from you. It doesn't matter that you're doing it for a joke. And finally, throughout the whole thing, there have also been voices that made it also into the film from people who correctly identified it as a big hoax, as Phoenix taking the piss. So it's not even like he was that successful at convincing the general public at the time that he's really gone off the rails. Now, of course, it must have been a tremendous task for him to essentially play a character for 2 years straight, all the while potentially destroying his career. Uh, Certainly an interesting and challenging acting exercise, but I ask again, what was the point of it? The resulting movie, I think, lacks a bite. It doesn't offer any interesting commentary that it set out to come up with, and it's an overall drag to get through. There are a couple of funny scenes, I admit, like the one with Sean Combs at the recording studio, where Joaquin is presenting him as different hip hop tracks, and just every single next one is worse than the previous one. But there are also a lot of disgusting scenes and a lot of material that's just annoying to watch. So I was really disappointed by this film. I checked it out because I love Joaquin Phoenix's work. I think he's one of the greatest actors of his generation. But I do think this was a completely failed experiment and a waste of a good chunk of his life.